Good morning, this is Bob Mason from FX Empire and welcome to the daily crypto tech review of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin and Ripple's XRP. We'll be looking at the moving averages, the day's support, resistance and pivot levels and the Fibonacci's. It is Thursday the 18th of November. Jumping straight into Bitcoin against US dollar, looking at the hourly candlesticks, bullish start to the day. Going to see Bitcoin avoid the pivot at 59,857 to take a run at the first major resistance level at 61,347. Plenty of support from the broader market will be needed for Bitcoin to break out from yesterday's high, that was at 60,851. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level to cap the upside. In the event of a breakout, should see Bitcoin target 63,000 levels before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 62,340. Fall through the pivot would bring the first major support level at 58,864 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Bitcoin should avoid sub-57s. Second major support level, 57,374, should limit the downside. Looking at the EMAs, 50 has continued to pull back from the 100 and the 200. That's still a bearish signal. So key through the early part of the day would be to avoid the pivot at 59,857, break back through to 61,000 levels. Failure to do that, the support levels will come into play. Looking at Ethereum against US dollar, also bullish start. Going to need to see Ethereum avoid the pivot at 4219 to continue the run at the first major resistance level at 4370. Support from the broader market will be needed for Ethereum to break out from this morning's high, 4322.63. Barring extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level to cap the upside. In the event of breakout, should see Ethereum target 4,500 levels before any pullback. Second major resistance level is at 4451. Fall through the pivot will bring the first major support level of 4138 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Ethereum should avoid sub 3900 levels. Second major support level 3988 should limit the downside. Looking at the EMAs, 50 has flattened on the 100 and the 200. That's still a bearish signal, however. So key would be to avoid a fall through the pivot at 4219 and break through that first major resistance level at 4370 to then target a run at 4500 levels. Failure to do that, and support levels will come into play. Looking at Litecoin against US dollar, also bullish start. Going to need to see Litecoin avoid the pivot at 228 to take a run at the first major resistance level at 237. Support from the broader market will be needed for Litecoin to break out from yesterday's high, 235.49. So barring extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level to cap the upside. In the event of breakout, should see Litecoin target 250 before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 245. Fall through the pivot will bring the 38.2% pivot at 223 and the first major support level at 220 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Litecoin should avoid sub 210s. Second major support level at 211 should limit the downside. Looking at the EMAs, 50 continues to pull back from the 100 and the 200, with the 100 also pulling back from the 200 following yesterday's late bearish cross. So that's bearish signals for the morning. So key would be to avoid the pivot at 228 and break out yesterday's high 235.49 to bring resistance levels into play. Failure to do that, and support levels will be in play. Finally, looking at Ripple's XRP against the US dollar, it's also been a bullish start to the day. Getting to Ripple's XRP, avoid the pivot at 1.0891 to take a run at the first major resistance level of 1.1195. Support from the broader market will be needed for Ripple's XRP to break out from yesterday's high, 1.11199. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level to cap the upside. In the event of an extended rally, should see Ripple's XRP target 1.15s before any pullback. Second major resistance level is at 1.1423. Fall through the pivot will bring the first major support level at 1.0663 and the 38.2% fib at 1.0659 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Ripple's XRP should avoid sub 1.0 levels. Second major support level 1.0359 should limit the downside. Looking at the EMAs, bearish signal with the 50 continuing to pull back from the 100 and the 200. So you need to keep an eye on that through the day. So key would be to avoid the pivot at 1.0891 and break through yesterday's high 1.1199 to target resistance levels. Failure to do that, support levels will be in play.